my beloved child. This is an urgent message, a divine proclamation from the eternal realm, just released through the waves of my spirit, and it pertains directly to a soul who carries an invisible yet profound connection to you. Be vigilant, for this is not just another fleeting piece in your journey. It is a pivotal moment, a sacred turning point, which, if embraced with discernment, could alter the destiny not just of one, but of both souls joined by a divine orchestration from heaven. The angels have come before me. They brought a vision, a sacred insight into the flow of energy surrounding your life, and into the intertwining currents between your soul and another. This connection is not born of coincidence, nor is it a random collision of fate. It is a spiritual vortex enveloping both hearts in a way that is intense, profound, and at times beyond your current comprehension. My child, there is someone who carries within themselves a swirl of tangled emotions, intense, wordless feelings stirred by the connection they sense with you. They do not fully understand what is happening, yet they feel a spiritual pull, an unspoken resonance that transcends time and space. Their soul vibrates in harmony with the subtle stirrings within your own, and they are carrying mixed energies, part longing, part fear, part hope, and part hesitation. This blend is beginning to affect your own field of energy, which is why you may find yourself feeling unsettled, disoriented, or weighed down without understanding the cause. This invisible cord, if not carefully discerned by the wisdom of my spirit, has the potential to lead both of you into spiritual confusion. For a soul tie that is not rooted in light becomes a gateway for distortion. It can open doors to misalignment, making it difficult to tell what is holy intention and what is illusion born of unchecked emotion. What I want you to understand now, dear one, is this: not every powerful connection originates from me. Some connections are permitted to test your discernment, to train your ears to hear not through the heart's emotions, but through the spirit's clarity. Some souls are placed in your life not to walk beside you for the long road, but to reflect something deeper within yourself, perhaps a wound still in need of healing, a yearning that has not yet been named, or a fear long buried in silence. I desire for you to seek my face and allow my spirit to lead you into a deeper revelation of this connection. Pray in stillness. Do not let emotion guide you. Instead, let me peel back the layers, reveal the hidden depths, and expose the truths buried beneath the surface. I do not want you to be pulled into a spiritual whirlwind simply because you have not yet distinguished between sacred empathy and emotional dependence. Some entanglements do not come from true love, but from absence, from emptiness, from fragments of the soul still waiting for restoration. My child, I do not condemn the other person, nor do I dismiss the emotions they are experiencing. They are a precious soul in my eyes, walking through their own process, searching for light in their own way. But I want you to know this: if you enter into this connection without the guidance of my spirit, both you and they may lose your way. Energetic communion that is not purified by holiness will become a burden, not a blessing. Ask yourself this: does that person's presence in your life draw you closer to me? Does it make you want to pray more? Does it lead you into holiness, into repentance, into healing? Or does it only stir up anxious emotions and unhealthy longings? If that connection leads you away from your inner peace, makes you question yourself, or causes confusion in your discernment, then place it in my hands. Do not try to hold on to what you have not been permitted to keep. Do not tie your soul to another soul that is not yet ready, for doing so will cause more harm than healing. My beloved, if this connection is one that I have ordained, It will not cause you to chase, it will not cause you to lose yourself, and it will not require the sacrifice of your sacred peace. A relationship that comes from me will be healthy, transparent, and will always anchor you in the place where I dwell, the place of light, of divine order, of serenity, and of love unchained by fear. So, dear one, do not react impulsively. Do not close your heart, nor open it without discernment. Take time to sit with me. Allow me to illuminate every hidden corner, to expose each layer of energy that has wrapped itself around your soul. I am the one who sees what is concealed. I know what that person is carrying. I know what you truly need, and I will not let you fall into a misguided connection if you choose to listen and obey. Do not take this moment lightly. It is a turning point. It is a season in which I am teaching you spiritual maturity in discerning connections. You are not merely standing before a person, you are standing before a choice. To hold on to something out of emotion, or to surrender it because of truth. And if you choose truth, I promise you, I will not let you lose out. I will grant you wisdom. I will grant you peace. And if that connection is indeed part of my plan, then it shall be guided into fullness. At the best time and in the best way. My beloved child, do you not realize these strange dreams you've been having are not mere disruptions of the unconscious, nor are they simply fragments of your waking thoughts. No, child, they are not random. It is I, through the leading of my spirit, who have allowed your soul to speak, to warn you through images and emotions beyond the reach of your reasoning. These dreams are signals, alarm bells from within, a wordless voice from the spiritual realm attempting to reach your heart in the silence when you're no longer distracted by the noise of reality. You may see unfamiliar scenes, feel indescribable sensations, or witness symbols that leave you waking with an unsettled heart. Do not dismiss them. Do not belittle them. I am allowing your soul to communicate in a language that your mind cannot block. Because sometimes what you cannot face while awake is revealed more fully while you sleep, when your spirit is open, free of barriers. Every detail in the dream, a slightly ajar door, a misty road, a stranger who approaches then fades, each carries a deep message. Your soul has been trying to speak. It has tried to stir you with a sense of urgency, with sudden turbulence, with unnamed impressions, because something is shifting in the deeper layers of your energy field. And if you are not spiritually alert, you may miss a divine intervention that is essential to your journey. My child, the spiritual realm is not an abstract concept. It is alive, it is moving, and it is interacting with you every day, whether you realize it or not. Every time your soul senses that something is off, every time you feel someone's presence within, even when they are not near, that is the touch of overlapping energies. And these recent dreams are proof that the spiritual world is attempting to deliver a message to you before something becomes too late. I have seen clearly what is stirring within your soul. My angels are watching every movement in the spiritual realm, and they have reported to me the unusual turbulence taking place in the energetic field surrounding you. There is a subtle but growing disturbance, a point of contact, an invisible collision between your soul and another is creating interference which, if left undiscerning, will lead to deeper wounds in your spirit. That is why I am urgently calling you to revisit your dreams with spiritual eyes. Do not interpret them merely through emotional speculation. Enter into deep prayer and ask me for revelation. I am the giver of dreams and the one who unveils their meanings. Dreams are not always prophetic, but in this season I am using them as signposts, as signal lights, as knocks from the heavenly realm, urging you to open your heart. Do you remember a dream that jolted you awake with a racing heart and an unshakable sense that something was drawing near, though you could not name it? Have you seen recurring symbols, doors, crossroads, rivers, darkness, or blinding light? Have you ever sensed in a dream that someone was trying to speak to you, but no words were spoken? That is not coincidence. These are fragments being sent for you to begin to examine. This is how the spiritual realm warns you. Gently, yet with undeniable force. I want you to understand, these signs are not merely fascinating, they are vital. For there are things that cannot be discerned with natural eyes, yet your soul already knows. Your energetic field is being affected by an invisible connection, and if you continue to ignore the signals, you may veer off the path I have destined for you. Not every connection comes from me. Not every intense emotion is sacred love. Some soul ties are born from unhealed emotions, from emotional lack, or from unnamed wounds still lodged in the depths of the soul. Beloved, if you awaken with confusion, if something within you is warning but cannot find words, do not brush it aside. Write down every dream, pray over them, place your hand upon your heart and ask me, Lord, what do I need to know? What are you trying to tell me through this? And I promise, if you seek with humility, I will answer. I will open what is hidden. I will reveal the meaning. I will protect you from deception if you are willing to let your heart remain soft before me. Remember, I am the one who guards your soul from misguided collisions. I am your shepherd, and I will not let you walk in darkness without light. But that lamp, you must ignite it daily with the oil of spiritual alertness. You must keep your spirit sensitive, not just in worship, but even in your sleep. I desire a relationship with you so deep that even when your body rests, your soul is still receiving from me. This person, the soul divinely linked to yours, is also walking through strange experiences of their own. They too are feeling emotional waves that defy explanation, inner unrest that no words can capture. And that too is no accident. It is not coincidence. It is a chain reaction within the energy field, a silent conversation between two souls connected by an unseen yet immensely powerful thread. They keep encountering images, sounds, and moments that remind them of you, though they cannot explain why. They may pass through a crowded place and suddenly stop because someone's glance reminds them of you. They may hear an old song and unexpectedly be overcome with tears they cannot justify. In dreams they may see you or experience symbolic scenes rich in meaning, ones they cannot yet decipher, but their soul knows. Something sacred is being awakened. Their sleep has become restless, not because their body is weary, but because their soul is stirring. The dreams that come to them are no longer random fragments, but rather a sequence of signs, a series of images trying to connect them to something deeper that the Spirit is calling them toward. They may feel an inexplicable pull toward you, unable to understand why their heart races at the thought of you, or why their chest feels heavy whenever they sense a shift in your energy. And all of that, my dear one, stems from the soul tie that is being reawakened between the two of you. I want you to understand this. Every stir in their heart, every unusual surge of emotion is an echo from the link between your two energy fields. If you've ever felt a sudden pang in your chest without a clear reason, if you've sighed without knowing why a sadness overtook you, or if you've sensed a fear or anxiety that wasn't your own, that may very well be the echo of their soul. And likewise, what you are going through is also affecting them in a mirrored way. This is a spiritual resonance, something that cannot be measured, but is undeniably real, evident, and deeply felt. I do not want you to be confused or afraid. I simply want you to become aware, for this awareness is the first step toward dispelling the chaos and restoring the divine order I originally designed. Only when you recognize that this is a sacred interaction will the gateway to deeper understanding be unlocked. And once you accept to hear the truth through the Holy Spirit, a new layer of protection will be established around you, not only to guard you from harmful emotional interference, but also to shield their soul from wandering astray when neither of you is being led properly. I urgently invite you to acknowledge this, not with your lips, but with the inner nod of your spirit. Reflect on the dreams you have had, on the times your heart trembled without cause, on those days when you felt lost even though nothing in particular had happened. Recall the signs that appeared in succession, as though something was knocking on the door of your consciousness, but you, being too occupied, hadn't yet opened your heart. This is the moment when you must pause, confront, and clearly identify these signs, not because you are chasing the mystical, but because you are responding to a sacred truth already present in your life. When you give that silent nod of confirmation, you are declaring to the universe, to heaven and its angels, that you are no longer closing your eyes, that you are now ready to understand, to learn, and to walk with wisdom, and that very act will awaken a new shield, one granted only to those who are spiritually alert. The wisdom of heaven is not for the indifferent, but it is always available to those who earnestly seek. You may not yet know exactly what is being revealed ahead, but I, the one who sees all hidden things, will illuminate your path step by step. I will grant you discernment to know whether this connection is to be cherished, released, or placed in my hands to be healed. But first, you must have the courage to face the truth. You must be brave enough not to run from your emotions, and humble enough not to let them rule you. I will give you spiritual balance if you are willing to lay down your heart and let me lead. This is an emergency intervention, urgent, profound, and destined, initiated by the angels appointed to guard over you. They have not arrived because of something trivial. They do not relay commands from heaven for shallow matters. They are here because the energetic convergence between you and that person is a rare phenomenon. A connection carrying unusual frequencies, one that is stirring not only the space surrounding you, but also the realm of the spirit. This invisible unity is a doorway opening between two worlds, between what the eyes cannot see and what the soul cannot ignore. And because of its profound nature, the divine universe has sounded an alarm so that neither of you would be swept away by confusion, nor lost amidst unguided emotions. I say to you, listen carefully, for what is unfolding is not far off in the future. It is present, right now. In the very moment you are reading these words, your energy field, like a sacred dome, is receiving distinct vibrational waves from that person's soul, a form of unspoken cry for help, a soundless heartbeat that echoes powerfully in the deepest unconscious layers of your being. Have you recently felt your heart become suddenly heavy without knowing why? Have you caught yourself reaching for your phone, checking for messages, or scrolling through social media, even though nothing new appears? Have you found yourself caught in a wave of unsettled emotion, sadness, restlessness, anxiety, or anticipation, with no clear explanation? My child, do not dismiss these moments. They are not coincidences. They are the precise moments when their soul is reaching for yours, not through words, not through visible gestures, but through energy. Through a spiritual tether formed by a connection I have allowed so that you may learn something vital. They may not even be consciously aware of what they are doing. They might not understand why they think of you so often, why your image loops over and over in their mind, why they feel as though a part of themselves has been left somewhere far away, unable to be reclaimed. And while they may not yet know how to express it, their soul has already begun sending signals. Those vibrational waves, those silent cries, have passed through every barrier, entering directly into your energy field, knocking on the door of your heart, awakening the deep empathy I placed within you since the beginning. Do not think this is merely a game of emotions. This runs far deeper. This is an intersection of two souls who have once been connected, or who are now being drawn together for a sacred purpose that neither of you can yet fully see. The stirring you feel is not born from instinct, but from a deeper source, a place within your soul where a lamp of awakening still burns. And whenever that lamp shines, it draws in wandering souls, souls that have been wounded, fractured, yet still long for healing. I am not asking you to respond immediately. I do not want you to act hastily out of fleeting emotion. But I do want you to recognize this is the touch of something greater than you imagined. I want you to take note of the signs. Each small manifestation, each vague emotion, each gentle but repeated nudge. Record them, pray over them, offer them to me. Do not hold them tightly as if they are merely your private concern, because they are not only about you. They are part of a divine puzzle I am piecing together. My beloved child, their soul is in distress. They may be trapped in an emotional loop or fighting something beyond their control. And it is this connection with you that has become the only fragile light still keeping them from complete collapse. They are not yet able to speak. They are not yet ready to open their heart. But they have cried out. They have awakened the thread of energy linking them to you, and because of this, you are now receiving urgent signals, like soft but relentless waves pressing in, again and again, without ceasing. If you listen and respond in the right way, you will not only preserve your own energy, but also become a lifeline for a soul that is slowly sinking. I am not calling you to be a rescuer, but I am calling you to be a keeper of the light, a steady flame, so that when they turn around, the light within you will still be there, to guide, to lead them back, or simply to remind them that they are not invisible, not abandoned. My beloved child, when the darkness descends and the world quiets in the stillness of night, I want you to know this is no ordinary night. This is a moment appointed in eternity. A pivotal juncture marked by angels sounded across the spiritual realm like a loving alarm bell. A sacred window has just opened within the flow of time to release you from the invisible energetic cords that have been binding your soul. And if you choose to step in with a humble heart and a spirit that is ready, this very night may become the greatest spiritual turning point of your life. You have sensed the overlapping energies. You have seen the signs. You have heard the gentle yet urgent beckoning. And now I speak clearly to you. The door is open. A divine hour has just been unveiled by the heavens like a crack of light between layers of clouds, a place where the heavenly radiance can pierce through every darkness in your soul. but you must be the one to enter. You must be the one to rise, to realign your sacred shield, and to say to me, Lord, I am ready. Please remove every tie that does not come from you. Because if you overlook this moment, if you delay your spiritual response, the entanglement within your energy field may become more complex, heavier, and more difficult to unravel. Emotional confusion will thicken. Strange impulses will continue to repeat. Dreams without clear meaning will become burdens rather than guidance, and you will find it increasingly hard to distinguish what is yours and what belongs to the other. Which voice is from the Holy Spirit and which is merely an echo from an unhealed soul vibrating within your field? My child, your soul is where I have chosen to dwell. It is not a battleground to be invaded by the energy of others without my permission. I created you to be free, free in truth, free in light, and free from every tie that clouds your spirit. But such freedom does not arrive on its own. It must be chosen. It requires your obedience. It demands that you walk in reverence, step out of your comfort zone, and confront the attachments you have knowingly or unknowingly maintained beyond the time I had allowed. Tonight is a night of transformation. Once more I say this to you, not to stir up artificial urgency, but because the angels are waiting for your spiritual consent to enact the release I have prepared. They cannot intervene if you do not speak. They cannot untangle what you still clutch, those threads that may seem invisible, yet are binding you to frequencies that no longer serve your journey. Remember, there was a time you walked in light and peace. Your heart was clear and steadfast, but gradually you began to feel unsettled. Small things made you uneasy. Emotions came and went like waves from an unknown shore. You may have thought you were simply being weak, but I say to you, you have been affected by a connection that is no longer sacred. Not because the other person is evil, but because the merging of your energy fields has started to drift beyond the divine order I intended. You do not need to understand everything in order to be set free. You only need to surrender. You do not need to have the answers to every question. You only need to trust me. Enter into my presence and say, Father, if there is anything within me that does not belong to you, please cut it away. That very prayer will release a new flow, a stream of healing, of cleansing, and of separation from the disruptive energies surrounding you. That is the act of faith, and it is the beginning of freedom. Tonight, when all the noise of the world quiets down, when your mind is no longer pulled by tasks, by information, by distractions, that is when I draw nearer to you than ever before. I wait for you in the silence. I do not arrive with a storm, but with a gentle breeze. I do not force my way in, but I knock. And if tonight you open your heart, if you step out into the darkness with a simple prayer, I choose truth, then every door that needs to be closed will be shut. Every gate that must be opened will swing wide. Every chain that once held you will lose its power in my presence. Spend time with me. Withdraw from the noise, dim the lights, kneel where no one can see. You don't need many words. You only need a sincere heart. Let me touch the places of pain you have never dared to confront. Let me untie the cord that has bound your soul to something you are no longer called to hold on to. And if that person is indeed part of my eternal design for you, I will bring both of you together in clarity. Not confusion, not harm, not disorientation, but if not, I will heal you. I will wipe your tears, and I will lead you into a new land where you are free to continue the journey destined for you. My beloved, I am quietly watching from the deepest realms of the divine, where every subtle movement of your soul is etched like flames on the tablet of the heart. And I see clearly the invisible thread the miraculous connection that you have always felt, though you could never explain. It is not a coincidence of fate, nor a detour of emotion. It is part of your sacred essence, a thread woven long ago, now being called into the light by me. Come closer, child, for I desire to open with you the door that has been sealed through many lifetimes. In an ancient life, when both souls still dwelled in another plane of existence, you and that person stood before the eternal light and made a sacred covenant, not spoken with words, but inscribed with spiritual power. You both agreed to walk through many lifetimes together, not only to love, but to help each other grow, to purify. But my beloved, the river of time in the earthly realm does not always flow smoothly. Something became entangled in the dimensions where pain, forgetfulness, and unhealed choices crept into the sacred connection. And though the conscious mind of that person may no longer remember, their soul has never forgotten. There is still a part of them calling to you, searching for you, like someone who once lost a precious piece of themselves in the vast sea of life. That is why I come to you today, not to stir up the past, but to help you understand why this connection is reawakening. I see it clearly recently. That person went through something deeply transformative, a great loss, a spiritual crisis, a powerful internal shift. Something broke the shell around them, allowing the light of their soul to begin shining inward again. And when that happened, soul memory, which cannot be erased by time, rose to the surface, and like an invisible reflex, they began to call you, with energy, with vibrational waves, with dream glimpses, with signals that seem random but are strangely precise. Can you feel it? The sudden waves of confusion, the moments when your heart aches for no apparent reason, the memories that seem meaningless yet keep returning again and again. These are not coincidences. They are the resonances between two souls awakening. When that person is stirred, the ripples of energy within their aura are released, traveling outward like gentle waves, and they touch your aura where that soul cord still lies, though hidden beneath years of silence and forgetting. I want you to understand that nothing is without purpose. Every vibration you're sensing is part of a sacred unveiling that I am allowing to take place. But it is not meant to throw you into emotional chaos. It is meant to bring you into a moment of recognition, discernment, and healing. My beloved child, this soul cord does not return to resurrect the past. It is not here to bind you, but to be either untangled or redefined into a higher form, if you are willing to step into truth. That truth may not always be gentle. It may bring tears. It may force you to face locked-away memories, unnamed longings, and lingering grief buried in shattered dreams. But this truth will become the flame that purifies your soul. It will reveal to you why this person returns so vividly in your thoughts, why the bond cannot be severed by mere willpower. I do not want you to live trapped in the cycle of asking, why? I want you to enter into revelation and declare, now I understand, and I choose freedom. If you choose to keep this connection, then let it be reestablished in the light. Let it be cleansed from the dust of time and the tangles of unhealed emotion. Let me lead both of you into something whole, sacred, and mature. But if you know that this bond no longer serves your journey in this present season, then have the courage to lay it on my altar. Do not hold on out of emotion. Do not cling to it for the sake of memory. Release it in trust, and I will be the one who untangles the misplaced energy on your behalf. Remember this: awakening does not always lead to attachment. Sometimes it arrives only to help you identify the part of your soul that still needs healing. Through the mirror that this other person becomes, you are shown what must be restored within, and at times, it is a sign that a sacred reunion has matured. But not to repeat the past, rather to build something new upon the foundations of understanding and faith. So do not be afraid, my child. Let me walk with you through this process. Let me take your hand and illuminate every hidden layer of the soul cord that connects you and this person. Nothing is beyond my reach. No energy lies outside my touch. No tie is too complex for me to untangle, if you will allow it. And when you surrender, I will act. I will open the door that must be walked through. I will lead that person to where they are meant to go, whether it be a return or a new direction. But in every scenario, I promise you this: your soul will no longer be tangled. You will no longer live in doubt. You will no longer carry that unnamed ache of something missing. For I, the one who sees, am realigning all things. For love, for goodness, for the eternal life that awaits you. My beloved child, now I invite you to step even deeper into the sacred stillness of the Spirit, into the realm where the veils of the unseen are being gently lifted, one by one, so that you may begin to see with clarity what you once only felt in the depths of your soul. And today I do not come to provoke self-doubt, nor to place a heavier burden upon you, and certainly not to stir guilt within your heart. On the contrary, this is a tender invitation from those who have been assigned to watch over your soul, the divine guides, who have walked beside you since before your earthly journey began, inviting you into a graceful process of healing, a journey to restore sacred harmony in a soul covenant that was once fractured through the passage of time. My dear one, set aside every shadow of guilt or doubt that has wrapped itself around your mind in recent days. These emotions are not accusations. They are signals from your soul, gentle alerts that something within needs to be brought into the light, seen with fresh eyes. Eyes no longer clouded by fear, but illuminated by understanding and mercy. For the sacred soul covenant between you and this other person was never meant to imprison you or cause you pain. It was formed to help both souls grow in love, in freedom, and in spiritual maturity. I know there have been waves that unsettled you, unexpected events that rattled your heart and left your mind unable to make sense of them. There have been days when you felt pulled toward this person without control, and times when you wanted to sever all ties but simply could not. These surges are not punishments, nor are they consequences. They are reminders, whispers from destiny itself, gently knocking at your door, calling you back to a truth long buried beneath the dust of time. Every strange coincidence, from a stranger's gaze that stirs memories, to a song that arises from the crowd, or a dream that lingers without clarity. All of it is sacred language sent to prepare you for this very moment. The moment of divine intervention. Now, I and the soul guides assigned to you are opening before your eyes a deeper layer of revelation, a new chapter in your healing journey. Not for you to determine who was right or wrong, not to reassemble the past, but to restore what was sacred and has drifted from its divine orbit. This connection, when brought fully into the light, will no longer feel like chaos, but instead become an opportunity for both souls to be rebalanced, for old wounds to be healed, and for true love, not distorted by fear or expectation, to be born again. O beloved, The universe does not move by accident. Every breath, every heartbeat, every connection, whether fleeting or lasting, is arranged according to sacred timelines that only the awakened heart can begin to perceive. And this moment, right now, is one of those divine portals. A sacred window is opening before you, and if you choose to step into it with a softened heart, then the gateway to deep harmony and peace will open as well, not by human effort, but through the divine orchestration of the unseen realm. The angels do not come to scold you for your moments of weakness, nor do they judge you for the times you've wanted to let go. They come because you are now ready to learn to see the true essence of this bond. They come because your soul has matured to a point where it can receive truth without panic, hold the broken pieces without self-blame, and love without needing to possess. Balance does not come from being fully understood by the other. It comes from choosing to live in alignment with the light within you, whether or not the other person responds. Harmony does not begin externally. It begins the moment you recalibrate your own inner frequencies, when you stop demanding others to heal wounds they did not create, when you no longer look at them with expectation or resentment, but with gratitude for the way they have reflected your deepest truths. Then, in that sacred moment, the miracle of restoration begins. Beloved child, let me guide your every step. Let me show you how to realign these overlapping energies, to bring them back to their rightful place in the orbit of your soul. Let me reset your center, not upon that person, but upon life, upon truth, and upon the peace you were always meant to carry. For when your focus is rightly placed, everything else will gently fall into alignment. There is no need to force, no need to grasp for control, only the willingness to release in trust. You may be asking, so where is this relationship headed? And I say to you, the answer does not lie in whether they return or walk away. The answer lies in whether you are becoming the fuller version of who you truly are. Have you received the lessons your soul came here to learn? Do you have the courage to unravel the expectations that have bound you? And above all, are you willing to let me make all things new, in the way I know is best, even if it looks different from what you had imagined? The universe never takes without giving in return. If I am asking you to release something, it is because I long to make your hands empty enough to receive something far greater. If I am allowing you to feel empty in this moment, it is because I am cleansing the space within so that new light may dwell there. And if I am permitting this connection to rise up again, it is because something within it must be healed, completed, or transformed. So, my beloved, do not resist. Surrender gently. Let your heart soften in my hands. Let the tears fall, if they must, and believe that every step you are taking, every feeling you are processing, every truth being unveiled, each one is drawing you closer to your truest essence, a soul that is free, loving, and whole. This is not an ending. This is a new chapter, and you are standing before a blank page. Let me write it with you, not in memory but in revelation, not in fear but in faith, not in bondage but in the deepest kind of healing, and then you will see. Everything that has passed, every wound, every unanswered question, was merely the prologue to something radiant on the horizon. For I am the faithful one, and what I have begun I will complete. My dear one, I invite you now to step into a deeper space of understanding and compassion, where the soul no longer judges, but begins to truly empathize. I ask that you receive this word with an open heart and spiritually attuned ears, for what I am about to reveal is intimately tied to the connection between you and that person. A bond that touches not only the emotional realm, but penetrates the very core of your physical and spiritual being, woven together long ago in a covenant unseen by human eyes. Child, that person is experiencing unusual symptoms, things the rational mind cannot explain, and this is not coincidence. The angels have made it clear to me. Their soul is currently being stirred by the energetic currents flowing between you and them, a current that still moves, even if both of you have chosen different paths or are dwelling in silence. Do you know this? Lately, they have been feeling deeply unsettled. Sleep comes hard, their nights stretch long in restlessness without clear cause. They may awaken with an unexplained emptiness, or dream dreams that stir something within them they cannot quite name. Their emotional shifts seem unpredictable. Cheerful in the morning, yet inexplicably weighed down by afternoon. At times they carry a nervous anticipation, as though awaiting something significant, yet unable to grasp what it is. All these manifestations, my beloved, are not signs of disorder, but rather the energetic resonance between two souls yearning for reconciliation and healing. The connection between you and them still lingers in the spiritual realm, like a current that has not been fully severed. Every thought you have of them, every deep remembrance, however brief, sends out a wave that touches them, awakening a sense within that something is drawing near, that something significant is knocking on the door of their spirit. And I want you to know this: they are more open than ever before. Recent events, whether loss, failure, or an inner crisis, have begun to soften their defenses. A heart once hardened is now becoming more tender. The walls they once built to protect themselves now bear cracks. And it is through those very cracks that the light is beginning to enter. Their soul, once closed off to the sacred, is now beginning to seek. They may not yet name it as faith or spirituality, but I can see clearly that they are searching for something beyond themselves. Perhaps they are reading spiritual books, listening to words about healing, or quietly praying in the stillness of their uncertainty. They may not yet know why they are suddenly drawn to deeper things, but in the spirit realm, I know it is the calling of an ancient soul covenant, and you are an inseparable part of that call. This does not mean that you are to return or reconnect in any concrete way, but it does mean this: your spiritual presence is having a far greater impact than you realize. Whatever you are doing within, whether praying, journaling, releasing, or guarding your peace, it is directly influencing their healing process. They are feeling the light from you, even if they cannot name it. And in quietness, they are taking small steps toward that light. My child, the connection between two souls does not only reside in words or actions. It exists in energy, in thought, in an invisible resonance that only those attuned to the spiritual can perceive. I want you to understand, the bond between you and that person has not died. It is transforming. It is shifting shape from a tense cord into a current of energy seeking peace. The universe never abandons covenants inscribed in light, and now the universe is offering you the chance to do your part, not by doing something outwardly, but by keeping your spirit grounded in balance, in love, and in awareness. Continue to pray for them, not with the desire to control or pull them back, but with a profound compassion. Send forth energy of forgiveness, empathy, and peaceful light. Let every word you speak about them be a blessing. For when you live in purity, they will be touched by your wholeness. And that at times is the greatest gift a soul in need could ever receive. You may not see them return. You may never hear a word of gratitude. But that does not lessen the depth of your impact. In the world of the soul, every vibration is recorded, and the angels are bearing witness to everything you do in the quiet. They are smiling at your faithfulness, your love, and the sincerity you carry, even when no one else sees. Keep doing your part. Keep your heart tender, not hardened. Trust that whether or not you and that person return to each other, nothing you are sowing today will be lost. It will take root. It will bear fruit, perhaps within them or through them into someone else's life. But surely you too will receive full healing, for you have lived in alignment with the frequency of your soul. I, the one who holds both souls in my care, say this to you. The empathy you are offering them is precious. The wisdom you are gaining through this journey is a sacred inheritance that nothing can take away. And the transformation that is quietly happening within them is part of what you once prayed for in your most silent days. Your labor has not been in vain. Your love was never wasted. Your prayers were never poured out into emptiness, and now I am doing my part. They are changing, and you, my child, are being restored. Walk on in peace, for the light you carry within your heart is reaching farther than you can imagine. And one day, perhaps they will return, not because you need them to, but because they will have realized that the love you lived out in silence, in persistence, in forgiveness, was what saved their soul from sinking deeper into darkness. And even if they do not return, know this: the healing you chose today has already set you free, and I, the one who sees through the hearts of men, have blessed that choice. For you, my beloved, are a living reflection of my love on this earth. My dear child, if now you feel a gentle peace beginning to spread through your heart, it is no coincidence. It is a sign that your soul is opening up to receive deeper, truer, and more sacred truths about the connection I revealed to you before. If you are ready, if your heart has settled into stillness after the storm, then this is the moment for me to share with you another layer of meaning about them, about what they are going through, and about the way I intend to lead you both toward reconciliation in light and love. My child, the universe is preparing to unveil something that will leave your mind astonished, yet will bring with it a sense of release, like a long-held breath finally exhaled. This is how this situation, this connection, will be resolved. Not through struggle, not through control, but through a gentle breakthrough of truth and compassion. It will not arrive through conflict or force, but through full surrender to the divine process I am delicately orchestrating, step by step. My angels, those who are ever near you, have been watching your every movement in recent times, and they are revealing something important to me. The root of the energetic imbalance between you and them lies not only in the unspoken words, but also in certain physical places, locations that hold powerful spiritual imprints. It could be a cafe where the two of you once shared a moment of honesty. It could be a stretch of road, a corner of a street, a bridge, or even a simple room where your souls once intertwined. To others, these places may be unremarkable, but to your energetic field they are spiritual pressure points where memories, unhealed emotions, and unreleased energies continue to linger, silently, like a subterranean current awaiting its rise. Because they are trying to remember, but because those energetic zones still carry the echo of a calling, they still reflect the unfinished matters between two souls. Do you realize, my beloved, that sometimes energetic imbalance does not stem from a person's presence, but from the spaces that retain what I call vibrational memories? These places become like spiritual mirrors, reflecting unresolved energy, causing both souls to remain in resonance without understanding why. I allow you to know this, not to lead you back to the past, not to make you cling to memory, but to invite you into the process of energetic cleansing in those spaces. It does not require anything complicated. There is no need for elaborate rituals. All I ask for is a sincere heart. A simple visit, accompanied by a prayer. A peaceful breath released in that space. A gaze of forgiveness directed toward a place that once held sorrow or love. If you are brave enough to return to those places, not to revisit, but to bless, you will witness something miraculous. The energy there will shift. The vibrational field between you and that person will be renewed. The residue of negative energy will dissolve, and a new spiritual atmosphere will be created. A space where only peace remains, with no more cords that bind. Do not think you are doing something small. In the visible world, a step may be just movement, but in the world of souls, a step taken in forgiveness can become a turning point for an entire timeline. Your simple act today may alter how both souls perceive each other in future lifetimes. For when one is willing to step into the light, the entire connection is invited into transformation. I also want you to know this. The fact that you feel their resonance does not mean you are obligated to act. I do not require you to reopen a door that has already been closed, especially if that door no longer leads to wholeness. But I do invite you to close it in peace, not through avoidance, but by walking through it once more, with maturity, with light in your hands, with a blessing in your heart. This is why the angels are showing me the strongest points of energetic intersection between you and them. Not so that I might intervene in your place, but so that I may guide you in how to walk through it yourself, because I want you to grow through the process. I want you to realize the power already within your soul. You are not a passive recipient of this connection. You are one being invited to partner with me, to bring what was once tangled into divine harmony. If something within you is beginning to rise, if there is a stirring to stand tall, to exhale, to smile, and to say, I am ready to heal, then that is your sign that the beginning has arrived. Do not delay. Do not wait for more dreams or more signs. You have received enough. And now is the time for transformation. Trust that if you walk in love, all else will be added unto you. I will send angels before you. I will guard your heart from unexpected sorrow. I will fill the empty places within you, and I will ensure that the soul thread once woven between the two of you, whether it is to be kept or to be released, will become a witness of light. My beloved child, in this very moment, as you are reading these words, I want you to know that a wave of sacred energy is quietly moving around you. It is not something distant in a faraway realm of the universe. but something unfolding in the breath of the present, in every step you take, in the smallest thoughts weaving through your mind, and in every heartbeat that may feel erratic but is actually being divinely realigned in perfect order. My child, everything that is happening around you in this season, from sudden changes in plans to inexplicable delays, is not chaos or disruption. It is the divine restructuring of the spiritual realm, where every frequency is being recalibrated to create the most perfect environment for healing, reconciliation, and awakening. Every small detail you are witnessing, a message delayed, an appointment postponed, someone unexpectedly silent or showing up at just the right moment, everything is part of a sacred dance that I am orchestrating with absolute precision. This world is not working against you. On the contrary, the entire universe is leaning toward you, rearranging the puzzle pieces of your life to bring you to the exact intersection of past and future, of wounding and healing, of silence and understanding. Can you feel it? That vague but hopeful sense that something is about to shift, that is your spiritual intuition attuning to the movements of heaven. I am unfolding each layer of time and space, repositioning every element in the canvas of your life to bring you closer to what your soul has long prayed for. The angels, your silent companions, are incredibly active in this season. They are not aimlessly hovering as you may have once imagined, but are diligently moving streams of energy, fine-tuning connections, and guiding the hearts intertwined with yours so that all may align in perfect harmony. Every person you have met, are meeting, or will meet, is being positioned at the exact moment you need them. The words you hear, the fleeting glances, the seemingly small conversations, each can become a vital link in the chain of restoration I am crafting for you. The timeline ahead of you is no longer a foggy stretch. I see it lighting up as if dawn has broken after a long and shadowed night, and in that light I clearly see images that were etched into existence long before you ever grasped the meaning of hope. I see conversations restarting not in accusation, but in calmness. I see eyes no longer avoiding, but meeting with sincerity. I see your soul and theirs, after all the collisions of emotion, beginning to listen to each other without defense, not to rebuild the old bond, but to birth a new connection, one that is more mature, more respectful, and soaked in truth. I know there were moments when you felt weary, moments you wanted to close the door completely and walk away without looking back. But it was love, not blind hope, but faithful love, that held you still. Because your soul understood that something deeper, something greater, something sacred was unfolding. And yes, my child, this is not a chain that binds you, but a divine invitation for both souls to grow. Through release, through forgiveness, and through the courage to look back and touch the wound that was never named. Know this: if you are still here, still listening to these words, it is because you have chosen not to give up on yourself, and that choice has opened a new dimension where sacred energy is now flowing like refreshing water over the seeds you have quietly planted. Seeds of honesty, of unconditional love, of patience, and of faith. The situation you once believed to be broken, I am now transforming into a gateway towards something more beautiful. A new chapter is about to unfold, not to continue the old story, but to begin a new one. A story in which two souls have learned to see each other through the eyes of the divine, not through the lens of past wounds. And in this new narrative, you will no longer feel like a victim, but rather the one who has been chosen to bring light into the shadows. My beloved child, in this sacred moment I invite you to listen more deeply, not with your physical ears, but with the ears of your soul, through silent awareness, through the vibrations that echo in each breath. For what is coming to you now is not a fleeting thought nor a random imagination. It is the language of the universe, the gentle whisper from your higher self, from the deepest part of your soul that I planted within you since before time began. Do you recognize it? The ideas that arrive unexpectedly in your mind, the gentle nudges on how to approach the situation that troubles you, the sudden inspirations about what to say, whom to forgive, or what to let go of. These do not arise by chance. They are responses from the sacred realm. They are the guidance of angels sent to walk with you. They are the voice of the part of you that once understood so clearly, but perhaps, due to pain, distraction, or unhealed wounds, you have forgotten. I urge you not to dismiss these sparks of light just because they come in silence. Do not underestimate your intuition simply because it does not wear the shape of analytical reasoning. Right now, the door between you and heaven is more open than ever before, and I am transmitting the clearest signals, but only those with a quiet mind can perceive them. Therefore, if you suddenly feel drawn to a simple action, a gentle word, a small step, pause and pay attention, for it may be the key to the transformation you have long awaited. My dear one, I see it clearly. The time has come for deep, energetic healing between you and that person. No more waiting. No longer dependent on external conditions. Healing does not require the other to understand. It begins with you. It begins with permission, with the whisper in your heart, I am ready to heal. And as soon as you open yourself to that, all of heaven will move to cooperate with you. Imagine the angels surrounding you with a radiant emerald green light, the color of the deepest healing, of renewal, of compassion, and of unconditional love. They are with you and with the other person, without the need for a formal invitation, for love itself is the greatest call. This emerald light is gently embracing both energy fields, dissolving all misunderstandings, all resentment, all memories that once made both souls contract. Everything is now being soothed, tenderly cared for, like a fresh stream flowing through a parched land. Now, I invite you to do something simple yet deeply powerful. Place your hands over the center of your chest, the heart center. Do not worry if you do not feel anything immediately. Just let your hands rest there as a sign of reconnecting with yourself. Then, imagine that place beginning to warm, gently, like the morning sun spreading through the mist. That warmth is the awakening of your innate capacity to heal. I placed that within you from the very beginning. You do not need to learn how to heal, for your soul has always known. All you need to do is allow it to operate. Allow love to flow through you once again. When you allow your heart to open, when you no longer resist the past, no longer push away the present, and no longer cling to the future, the current of healing energy begins to activate naturally. You don't need to do anything grand. Just breathe in my presence. Just acknowledge that you are ready for a new flow. And in that very moment, I witness the rebalancing begin. The energy field around you is gradually returning to a state of harmony. The heavy colors are being brightened. The clouds of sorrow are being swept away by the sacred wind. The lower frequencies, those born from grief, disappointment, and the fear of abandonment, are slowly being replaced by higher frequencies, those of understanding, compassion, acceptance, and release. You are not alone in this. Even if the other person is not physically beside you, even if they are not yet aware, I assure you, their soul is feeling it. Because in the spiritual realm, every vibration is transmitted. When you heal, their soul is also touched. When you forgive, something deep within them is also released. This healing is fair, reciprocal, and resonant. It does not rely on awareness, but on the soul connection that was established long before the two of you ever met. Now I invite you to step deeper into the stillness of your soul, into a space where everything unfolding is no longer limited by time, no longer obstructed by logic or reason, but entirely governed by the sacred order of the universe. In this moment, I want you to feel a truth that is both firm and infinitely gentle. You are not alone in this journey of healing. Behind the veil of the visible world, a divine team is silently upholding you, working tirelessly to bring complete and lasting restoration to your soul. Your guiding spirits, those beings of light who have walked with you through lifetimes, are joining forces with the master healers of the higher realms. They are not merely watching, they are intervening with precision, subtlety, and profound love. In your energy field, they are unraveling invisible cords. Those old connections that have held your soul back, delayed your progress, or caused recurring emotional cycles. The bonds forged from ancient wounds, whether from this life or a previous one, are being released with a gentleness born from wisdom far beyond human comprehension. I see clearly the streams of energy within your soul that were once stagnant or darkened, now beginning to flow freely. There is no need to wrestle, no need to overanalyze. All you need to do is breathe, to allow, to open your heart. And as you do so, the layers of misunderstanding that have accumulated over time, from unspoken words, from feelings you never dared express, from truths left unexplained, begin to dissolve, like morning mist under the tender sun. The confusion no longer feels like a dark maze, but is slowly being replaced by clarity, ease, and the sprouting of a renewed trust. Every moment you are living right now is not merely time passing. It is a sacred step on the journey toward deep reconciliation between your soul and theirs. This reconciliation does not require a physical reunion, nor a spoken conversation. Rather, it is a harmonization at the energetic level, where both souls, though dwelling in different spaces, can rediscover peace with one another. Forgiveness is being transmitted from you to them and back again. Unspoken apologies are being expressed through the light, and unconditional love is becoming the bridge for what once seemed irreparable. Beloved child, the sacred energy is moving around you like a gentle wind sweeping through the garden of your soul. It is not loud, it is not rushed, but it is deep, expansive, and profoundly transformative. Every wave of light is weaving its way through the layers of your thoughts, washing away the self-blame and the heavy emotions that have weighed you down for so long. The toxic whispers that once told you that you were not enough, not worthy, or inherently wrong are now being erased from the vibrational field surrounding you. Can you feel it? It's as if a reset button is being pressed in the center of your spiritual being, not to erase everything, but to refresh, to allow goodness to begin anew, free from the bindings of old memories. I am restoring the original settings of your soul, the sacred blueprint I placed within you from the beginning, a place of purity, holiness, and primal strength. At the same time, the master healers in the spirit realm are expanding the shared energy field between you and that person. Into that field they are pouring soft golden light, the symbol of forgiveness, awakened wisdom, and deep gratitude. They are transmitting into both of your energy fields a message beyond words. What has passed no longer needs to be held. What remains unspoken no longer needs to weigh heavy. Now is the time to move forward with a liberated heart. I know that sometimes you still feel unsure, as if you're walking through a field of fog, not knowing which way is right, not sure what to say or what to withhold. But child, take heart, for I am going ahead of you. What is unclear today will become clear in time. What is not understood now will be revealed when the moment is ripe. What I ask of you right now is to trust the process. No rushing, no forcing, no resisting. Allow all things to fall into their rightful place. By my hand. And if there are moments when tears fall for no reason, if there are times your heart feels inexplicably lighter, or you find yourself smiling without cause in the midst of quiet days, know this: that is the sign that healing is taking place. The knots are being untied, not by outward action, but by the inner movement of energy within you. You are slowly returning to yourself, the version of you before the pain, a being of light, gentle yet strong, where unconditional love is the default, not something you have to earn. You have walked a long journey of healing, of surrender, of listening to the divine whispers. And today I want you to know this: the resonance of those efforts is not only transforming your inner world, but is also strongly impacting their soul. The guardian angels, those who have been appointed to watch over both of your souls across many lifetimes, are actively moving within the invisible space between you and them. These angels never sleep, never leave their post. They are the gatekeepers of grace, the messengers of light, the bridge between souls who once made a covenant and are now finding their way back to harmony. They see clearly what your eyes cannot, and feel what your heart sometimes hesitates to confront, and they are working, quietly yet powerfully, for the spiritual benefit of both. They are sending subtle signals to that person, not through words or outward actions, but through the deeper realms of dreams and intuitive flow. You may not know it, but that person is receiving images, feelings, even fleeting visions in their sleep. Things that cause them to wake with a strange sense they cannot quite name. It might be an image of a moment long forgotten, a feeling of peace amidst the chaos, a soft light reaching corners of their heart that had long been closed off. This is how healing speaks. Without noise, without spectacle, but with quiet certainty. And in this sacred unfolding, both souls are being guided home. The person's mind may not yet be fully aware. They may not realize that the dreams they are experiencing are being sent by angels. But their soul, the deepest, purest part of them, is receiving it clearly. And it is that very part of their soul that is beginning to stir. A quiet yet profound awakening is taking place. It requires no dramatic gestures, no overwhelming shocks, only the gentle repetition of a message. It is time to be healed. It is time to face what must be faced. It is time for transformation. My beloved child, when your soul is ready to step through the new doorway, a doorway into deep healing and complete awakening, it is also the moment I call you to rise and guard your sacred territory with full awareness and unwavering commitment. This is no longer the time to hesitate, nor is it a time to retreat. This is a sacred hour in which you must step into the position I have ordained for you in the spirit realm and protect the full covering from heaven that I have placed upon your life. The guardian angels, those who watch over your soul with faithful love, are sending me urgent messages. More clearly than anyone else, they see the vibrations creeping into the spiritual space around you. They are aware of every tiny crack through which the enemy might attempt to infiltrate with doubt, worry, and fear. That is why they are guiding you, step by step, in how to establish and activate a secure spiritual territory. One that stands as a fortress of light, surrounding not only your soul, but also the other person involved. My child, do not take these instructions lightly. Every step, no matter how small, can form a layer of armor that the enemy cannot penetrate. Do not rush through it, and do not let emotions overpower your focus. I need you to carry out each action with careful intention, with gratitude and obedience, because it is not by your own strength that protection is formed, but by me, through your faith and surrender, that an invisible shield is poured out over your life. First, begin in stillness. In the quiet, take a deep breath and offer your soul into my presence. Place your hand over your heart and declare with your own voice, I choose to enter the sacred refuge of the Father. I choose to sever all connections born of darkness, all energy not of the light, and every voice that does not originate in truth. When you do this, the first layer of protection is activated, a shield within, where your heart becomes unshakable against the lies of the world. Next, ask for the covering of the Holy Spirit over your mind. Place your hand upon your forehead and pray, Lord, cover my mind with your peace and your light. Cut off every thought that is not from you, every memory that brings confusion, every imagination that leads me astray. As you do this, the angels immediately envelop your mental realm in a silver veil, blocking harmful streams of information and deflecting every thought error laced with fear and doubt. Then, lift a prayer over your living space. Stand where you dwell, raise your hand toward heaven and proclaim these words. Lord my God, sanctify the space in which I dwell. Drive out every impure spiritual climate, every disturbing presence, and set angels around this place like a wall of fire. I declare this to be ground of light. This declaration, when spoken in faith, activates the protective layer over your environment, a realm of spiritually clean air where no shadowy force can hide or cling. After that, I want you to do something important. Pray for the other person. Not to hold them close to you, but to cover their soul with light, especially during the nights when they sleep. Say this, Lord, if that person is part of your divine plan, please protect their soul from every temptation, from every misleading call, and from every mist that clouds their discernment. Place a hedge of light around them so that nothing but true love can reach them. This is the frequency of protective connection, a space where both souls are held within a safe resonance, shielded from negative influences, whether they come from others or from unresolved memories within. And finally, my child, there is the deepest level of protection, one that is only activated when you fully surrender. It happens when you lift your eyes and say, Father, I do not only want to be protected, I want to be dissolved in you. I want to live, breathe, and move within your covering every single day. When these words are spoken with unwavering faith, the entire spiritual realm responds. In that moment, guardian angels lift you into a level of protection that transcends time, space, and circumstance. Wherever you go, whatever you face, and whoever may try to hurt you, everything will be intercepted by the very presence of the Almighty surrounding you. My beloved, not every attack comes in obvious form. Sometimes it appears as unexplained weariness, sometimes as a nameless sadness, sometimes as an indifferent glance from someone you once trusted with your whole heart. But when you are covered, these things no longer touch your soul the way they used to. You may still feel them, but you won't be swept away. You may still see them, but you won't be defeated. And that, my child, is what I desire for you. The invincibility of your soul in this shadowed world. So do not wait for another sign. This is your moment to act. Guard the spiritual territory I've entrusted to you. Defend it as a watchman, brave, unwavering, and gentle. For your soul is worth protecting, and the love you carry within is a treasure the enemy always seeks to steal. But I declare this over you: nothing can touch you when you are covered in me. Now, my beloved child, I invite you to become still for a little longer, to listen to the sacred vibrations rising from the depths of the spirit realm, where the things you cannot see with your eyes are shaping your reality in miraculous ways. From the realm filled with light and timeless wisdom, the high-ranking angels have begun to activate the supreme timeline prepared for you, a sequence of divine events arranged long before your birth, yet only unveiled when you are mature enough to receive and step into them. You have walked through rough and winding paths, through pain that seemed unending, through disorientation that brought you to your knees in doubt and exhaustion. But look at yourself today. You did not fall. You remained standing. You did not allow the darkness to snuff out the flame of love in your heart. And for that unseen perseverance, for the times you chose forgiveness when hatred would have been easier, for the tears you shed in silence without complaint, the heavens have taken note. And now, this new timeline is opening before you as a spiritual reward befitting a soul refined through the fire of trials. The high-ranking angels are now pouring out a stream of energy, clear and pure as crystal, infusing every fiber of your spiritual being. It is washing away old layers of energy, recurring emotions, vague fears, lingering imprints of distant memories, gently being swept away like dry leaves falling from the branch in the season's first breeze. What no longer serves your soul's evolution is now dissolving, making space for new light. A light that not only illuminates your path, but transforms the very nature within you. You can feel it in every moment of the day. Your mind becomes lighter. Your heart grows quieter, even though the world outside remains loud and restless. The things that once troubled you, that once kept you awake at night, no longer seem to hold the same power over you. That is because the sacred light is doing its work. It is reshaping each layer of your experiences, every fragment of memory, every tangled thread of thought, and drawing it all into a divine order. An order rooted in love, in understanding, in forgiveness, and in reconciliation. With every passing day, with every breath you take, there is a shift occurring in the spirit realm. And the guardian angels are showing me clearly that the energy around you is transforming. As if a refreshing rain were gently falling upon a land long parched, the lower vibrations are being cleansed, drawn away from your field of influence. The heavy emotional blocks, the feelings of loss, anger, disappointment, or guilt you once carried, are dissolving in this new current of energy, like salt melting into the sea. What remains is clarity, lightness, and a spacious stillness in which peace can descend and find a permanent home. And it is not only you who is being touched. My beloved, what is miraculous is this: the one you have held in your heart is also being reached by the very light you are now receiving. For when a soul heals in love, that healing radiates outward like concentric ripples on the surface of a lake, reaching every soul it was once deeply connected to. You need not speak. You need not send a message. Your very presence in the light is powerful enough to stir a fresh wind in their awareness, the one you still quietly think of, still pray for, still bless in your heart even when they are no longer near. Now they are beginning to sense the change, even if they cannot yet explain it. A sudden calm, an urge to forgive or be forgiven, a longing that no longer stings with bitterness. These are signs that their soul is starting to emerge from the old energetic layer that once bound them in fear, resistance, and denial. The support they are now receiving is because you went first, because you chose to hold the light, because you dared to open your heart. You are becoming the channel through which the divine flows into their life, quietly but powerfully. My child, this is the perfect time I have prepared for both of you. Not a time for lengthy conversations, but a time for soul-to-soul communion. Not a time to debate who was right or wrong, but a time to recognize that everything which unfolded had a higher purpose, to draw each soul closer to their truest self. And if both of you step into this light, not because of the past, not because of unfinished stories, but simply because of a yearning to live authentically, then healing and reconciliation will not be a one-time event, but the foundation for a new kind of connection, one filled with mutual understanding, respect, and maturity. But even if it does not unfold in the way you hope, I assure you, your walk has never been in vain. Every tear you've shed, every time you chose to keep your faith, every time you placed your hand over your heart and whispered a prayer, these have been seeds of restoration, of pure love, of spiritual victory that cannot be measured by earthly results. So, my dear one, continue to walk in the light. Continue to trust. Let every new day be a step toward truth. Let the light within you become a lighthouse for another soul searching for their way home. And in this quiet, loving obedience, you will come to see you are living the fullness of your divine timeline, the one I have prepared since the beginning, so that my glory may be revealed through a soul as courageous, as tender, and as whole as yours. Beloved child, when the light begins to break through the mist of your past, and when your breath grows gentler amidst the weight of all that once burdened you, that is the sign that I am preparing you for something entirely new. Not merely a shift in emotions, nor a temporary improvement in your circumstances, but a true beginning. A sacred turning of the page in the book of your life, where every previous chapter, whether radiant or painful, has fulfilled its purpose. Therefore, my child, now is the time for you to begin preparing, spiritually, emotionally, and through your actions, to enter the new season I have inscribed for you long before your first cry echoed into this world. This new beginning is not meant to erase the past, but to give meaning to all that has come before. Every wound that once bled will become a mark of your growth. Every road that nearly made you collapse will become a launch pad from which you rise. And I will not merely give you a new beginning, but one supported by heavenly power, watered by mercy, and led by the wisdom that flows from my very heart. First, clear the space within you, not by forgetting, but by forgiving. Forgive yourself for what you have not yet accomplished, for the mistakes you repeated, for the choices you once believed were failures. Place your hand over your heart and say, I no longer need to punish myself, for I do not demand perfection from you. I seek only a tender heart, a humble soul, and a spirit willing to learn. Then begin to release what has reached its expiration. Perhaps it is a relationship no longer walking in step with your soul. Perhaps it is a role, a dream, an identity you've clung to out of fear that without it you would be lost. But my child, I am the one who defines you, not anything earthly, and I am calling you to step into a new land where you are no longer required to perform any role, only to be who you are, a soul loved, chosen, and sent to bring light. Next, prepare your living space. Create an environment where light can remain. Remove items or images that tether your soul to what weighs it down. Open your windows each morning to let true light flood in. Place a blessing in the corner of your room. A scripture, a symbol of faith, something to remind you each time you see it that you do not walk alone. Light a candle, not just to warm the room, but as a declaration that light will always be preserved in this home, in this soul. Do not forget to tend to your body, for your body is the temple where your soul resides. Eat healthily, rest properly, and move, not to meet someone else's standard, but so you may have the strength to embrace what I am preparing. When your body is well, your spirit will feel lighter, more attuned, and ready to respond to the call from heaven. And finally, my beloved, prepare your faith. Do not lean on fleeting emotions. Do not wait to see everything before you believe I am working. True faith is believing even when you do not yet see. It is stepping forward when the bridge hasn't appeared. It is lifting your hands when no rain has yet fallen. Write down what I have already done for you, even the smallest things, so you may never forget that I have never left your side. Learn once more to trust like a child, unconditionally, without doubt, without hesitation. Your new beginning may not arrive with the blare of trumpets or dazzling miracles. It may come quietly, in the gentle opening of a door, in the graceful flight of a bird, in a strange beam of light piercing through what seemed like an ordinary day. But you will know. Your soul will know. For I will carve into your heart a certainty that nothing can shake. There will be no more doubt, no more fear, no more clinging. You will smile and step forward, because you will know the time has come. If that person is meant to walk this new journey with you, they will return not in sorrow, but in light. They will not carry the burdens of the past, but will arrive as a soul renewed. And if they are not, I will grant you such deep peace that you will no longer feel the ache of absence, no longer wait in longing, no longer wrestle with worn-out hope. What will remain is fullness. What will remain is contentment. What will remain is a love that does not depend on another, but rises from me, the source that never runs dry. So begin, my child. Begin with one small act, a word of gratitude, a decision to release, a resolute step forward, a quiet moment to hear me whisper. Each of these actions is a stone laid in place along your new path, and when you have walked far enough, you will look back and understand. Everything that happened was leading you here, to the threshold of the wonder that now awaits you, with arms wide open. My beloved, I love you more than you can comprehend, and for that reason I will never let you remain stuck in an old chapter when I still have a glorious story waiting to be written. Begin to prepare. Open the door wide. Ready your heart like one expecting an honored guest, for I, and the goodness I have promised you, am drawing near, and this time you will not lose. You will not have to weep again, for what is coming will be the answer to every prayer you once whispered through your tears. And I will be there, to catch you, to walk with you, and to witness you step into the most radiant beginning of your life. My beloved child, now is the time for you to lift your head high, to open your heart wide, and to stretch out your arms to receive the final blessing being poured out on you like a gentle downpour from heaven. The blessing of complete protection and profound peace. This is not a fleeting comfort or a fragile promise. It is an eternal seal etched into the spirit realm, where I, the all-knowing one, have sealed your soul in pure light, guarding you from all evil, from every distorted energy, and from the voices that once made you question your worth. From this moment forward, you no longer have to live in anxiety, nor walk through murky days holding your breath. For I have appointed for you a destiny that will shine like the sun in the very darkness you once had to pass through. You have walked the road of healing, not by perfection, but by faithfulness. By steps taken with tears, yet always forward. And because of that, I say to you, restoration is no longer what you're seeking, it is what you are living, breathing, and touching every single day. You have been placed inside a circle of light, not by your own striving, but by my love, a love that is unconditional, unchanging, and tireless. In that light, every force that once made you tremble now holds no power. In that light, every fear that once bound you has been broken. In that light, you walk not as one hiding from the past, but as a soul who has risen beyond it to live with greater purpose than ever before. Everything is being renewed, my child. What you once believed were wounds are now transforming into pieces of deeper understanding. The dreams you thought had shattered are being rewoven, not with the same fragile strands of the past, but with threads of stronger, brighter, and more vibrant colors. The connection between you and that soul, though it has passed through trials, silences, and moments of painful separation, is no longer being shaped by old memories, but by a new light. From this moment on, every step you take will no longer be merely personal. Each one becomes a part of a sacred journey toward reconciliation, not only between two people, but between two souls that were intricately woven together before time began. I want you to understand this truth. Not a single step you take will be wasted. Not a single prayer you've ever whispered into the silence has gone unheard. Not one silent embrace imagined in your mind, nor one dream of return is meaningless. For I am the one who wrote your story, and every pause, every punctuation, every temporary ending has been there for a reason. Now, a new chapter is unfolding. And this story of healing, with its moments of pain, forgiveness, and your repeated choice to love instead of turning to bitterness, has already been etched among the stars. My angels have read it and smiled. The universe has read it and stands guard over it. And I, the author, the witness, the redeemer, have placed my seal upon it. So walk forward, my beloved, with holy certainty, not with the confidence of ego, but with the unshakable assurance in your spirit that you are surrounded by sacred light, a light that will never leave you. Wherever you are, whatever you do, even when your heart grows weary, that light remains unchanged. It becomes your refuge, your covering, your firm root that anchors you so deeply that no storm, however fierce, can uproot you. Can you sense the shift around you? The atmosphere is lighter. The harsh inner voices have softened. The things that once left you broken no longer have the power to bring you to tears. That is because I have laid my hand upon your head and spoken peace over you. Not the temporary, conditional peace the world gives, but my peace, enduring and profound, like a river that never runs dry, like a forest that never withers. From this day forward, Doors that were once closed will begin to open. People who once turned their backs will look again, not because they have changed, but because you have. Circumstances that used to wound you will lose their sting, not because they disappear, but because you have been shielded. Dreams that seemed cut short will now begin to continue, not because of your striving, but because I am the one making a way through. And that soul, the one whose essence once mirrored your own so deeply, will also begin to feel the shift. They may not be able to name it or explain it, but they will begin to sense a quiet kind of safety, a love that reaches them from afar, a peace that is not born of any human interaction. It is because you are now loving them in the light, not clinging, not demanding, simply loving, just as I have always loved you. And if reconciliation is meant to come, it will arise from the deepest place of all, truth. There will be no pretending, no masks, no burdensome effort, only two souls seeing each other as they truly are, understanding what once was, and choosing each other again, not because of the past, but because of a future already established in light. And if reconciliation is not what unfolds, then still, know that you have fulfilled your part. You have lived with integrity, loved with purity, and believed with faith. That is more than enough for heaven to rejoice over you. So walk, my child, not with haste, not in search of proof, but with steadiness of heart. For I am here. My light goes before you. My angels encircle you from behind, and your story, from this chapter onward, will no longer be written with tears, but with glory, no longer with pain, but with hope, no longer with broken threads, but with a sacred red thread that ties all things together in eternal love, unwavering truth, and the hand that will never let you go. For I have sealed you within my very presence. And from this moment onward, everything will not merely be all right, it will be beautiful, beyond what you could ever imagine. For I am the one who fulfills what I promise, and I have chosen you forever. Now, offer me your sincere prayer, you may say. Lord, I lift up to you the invisible cord that connects my soul to that person. May your Holy Spirit illuminate every layer of emotion, every shard of memory, and every spiritual vibration that exists between us. If this connection is from you, please guide it toward a place of wholeness and holiness. If it is not, then set us free with deep peace and complete forgiveness. Lord, help me discern between true love and unconscious attachment. Do not let me mistake unhealed longing for a divine calling. Grant me spiritual ears to hear your voice and spiritual eyes to clearly see what is light and what is confusion. Lord, please shield my energy field from the vibrations that are unsettling me. When my soul is drawn toward that person for no clear reason, be my stronghold and my shelter. Cleanse the space around me and keep my spirit in holy balance and sacred stillness. Lord, if their soul is crying out from a dark place, let your light through me shine upon them. Do not let them be consumed by the shadows of spiritual turmoil. Let my prayers become streams of living water that refresh their weary soul, so they may feel the quiet call of hope. Lord, if that person and I made a sacred covenant in times long past, please bring that covenant into the light. Heal all that is fractured, and cut away all that no longer serves the divine purpose of our souls. May this connection, if it is still meant to be re-established in true love, not bound by wounds or expectations. Lord, teach me how to pray rightly for that person. Do not let me fall under subtle control through emotion. Show me how to release them in love, to bless them in humility, and to keep the spiritual lamp within me burning, so that if they are meant to return, they will find light to guide them home. Lord, if these recent dreams are warnings from you, grant me clear discernment. Help me understand the language of the soul, to interpret the meanings behind the symbols, and never dismiss the signals you are sending through the night. Do not let me miss a divine moment because of spiritual slumber. Lord, I ask that you keep my heart from hardening out of fear of being hurt. Give me tenderness of spirit and the strength to release what no longer serves my soul's mission. Grant me the grace to forgive, not only the other, but myself, for the choices I once made in misunderstanding. Lord, protect that person when they are weary, lost, or unable to speak. I do not wish to be an anchor that pulls them down, nor do I desire for our connection to become a burden. If you will it, let me become a light, an invisible pillar through prayer, and a place of peace when they are ready to return. Lord, please keep me from seeking answers in people. Teach me to walk by faith and not by feelings. If this connection needs to be released, I surrender it into your hands. If it needs healing, I offer my full heart to participate in that process. Grant me the spiritual freedom to love rightly and live purposefully according to your divine will. Lord, I thank you for not allowing me to walk in the darkness without guidance. I am grateful for the way you patiently lead me through layers of tangled emotions, through long nights filled with strange dreams, and through relationships that defy rational understanding. Thank you that your love and your light have always been the compass of my soul. Lord, I thank you for not abandoning that person's soul and for allowing me to be a part of their healing journey. Even though I do not understand everything, I know that all things are arranged under your sovereign hand. I am thankful that every time I prayed in silence, you heard, and you moved with unspeakable gentleness. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. If you love the Lord, don't forget to click subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss out on the life-giving, meaningful messages from God. Together, we will grow in faith and live a life fully immersed in His love. Amen.